You gonna behave? All right. Oh, here we are live. Got the cat sitting there in my lap. She's actually being nice for once. Usually the only time she purrs is when she's biting and clawing at me, but she's actually purring a little bit for once and being nice. So hopefully it lasts for a little bit into the show. Anyhow, you'll notice that quite a few of the regular viewers here have been made into moderators. You got a blue wrench after your name. The blue wrench is so you can beat each other over the heads with it. But other than that, I got most of you. I'm sure I probably missed a few here and there, but I'll catch up eventually. But being a moderator just means that if somebody gets to be too much of a nuisance, you can time them out or hide their stuff on the channel. But you're generally pretty well behaved a lot. So, like I said, mostly just be for having wrench fights with each other. And let's see, that about covers that. Got a few new things this week, some kind of interesting stuff, and I'm going to give something away. Actually, a couple of somethings. They need cleaning and restoring, but I'm feeling lazy this week. I got too many other things to do to bother cleaning them up. So I'm just going to send them to you the way they are. I'll show you them in a little bit. The one thing you can't do, though, is a moderator can't time out other moderators. So don't go trying to start wars with each other. So beyond that, like I said, most people, you're pretty well behaved. But if you get a troll in here, gets to be too much of a nuisance, you can go ahead and put him in a corner for a while or bounce him entirely. Anyhow, say hi to everybody here quick. RT Scott, Corey Clark, got Hog Wild in here, Cynthia, good to see you guys. Billy Lee, Rick Green, Chris Alberson. Let's see here. Like I said, hi to RT Scott. Cowgirl Jewel, she's in here. Honey Badger, good to see him. David Dykes, let's see, good to see him. Rusty Iron. If I missed you, it's nothing personal. I didn't catch everybody, and you have to do it on the YouTube side. And right now I'm back on the StreamYard side. The last time I did it, I actually did a few just for the show on the YouTube side. But Jim 44, he's here. Crusty Cast Iron. Found an 8-slice Wagner cornbread pan. Didn't know they made them. Yeah, Wagner did make some of the cornbread skillets. You don't see them all that often. Usually it's BSR or Lodge, but Wagner jumped on the bandwagon too, and they did make some cornbread skillets. I don't know if they're all 8-slice or if they're 6 and 8. Don't know offhand, but yeah, they did make cornbread skillets, and like I say, they're not real common. You don't come across them really often. Let's see. I think I said hi to Chris Alberson. Cynthia Wesley. I already said hi to her. I think I got pretty much everybody said hi to. And if I missed you, I'm sorry. I'll say hi to you eventually or some other time. Let's see here. Yeah, you can't beat them. Can't go kicking each other out. Anyway, St. Urho's Day. I'll explain St. Urho's Day on St. Urho's Day. It's the 16th of March, generally an all-around auspicious day, and it's a good day for a Finnish saint. Anyway, couple of things I got. First, I'll show you the stuff I'm going to give away. First of all, you got an 8-inch made in Taiwan skillet. The outsides are a little bit sticky, got a little buildup on them, but the insides look like they're a little mildewed. Must have sat on a shelf down in a damp basement or something. Try to restore a Griswold number 6. Notice the handle has a groove through the bottom. Yeah, that's a groove-handled Griswold. They made those towards the end of their run from about 1951, 52 on up until they shut down. So yeah, that's a thing. So that's, you can tell when it was made. It was made pretty much in the 1950s. Let's see here. I think I got caught back up. Anyway, like I was saying, this here's a made in Taiwan skillet. Don't let that throw you, though. I'm pretty sure once you get that nastiness off the inside, that's going to have a really nicely machined cooking surface. It's a very light pan. A lot of these, made in Taiwan, made in Korea skillets are actually really nice pans. You can get them cheap. They work great. They're fantastic, especially if you're new to restoring iron, if you're new to cooking with cast iron, you don't want to screw something up. It's a really good, really good starter pan. Like I say, I'm pretty sure that's going to be nice and smooth on the inside once it's all cleaned up, and you're getting it for nothing. So along with it, I'm going to give you something that's got a little bit more cachet to it. That is a Wagnerware number 6. You can't quite see the 6 on the handle, but catalog number is 1056, so that's a number 6. Anyway, then, like I said, this one is pretty good shape too. The inside's, got some kind of nastiness in there growing, but that'll come off good with lye bath or with easy off, whatever you want to use. But you're going to get both of these skillets for the same drawing, and we'll have a drawing towards the end of the show, so stick around. All you have to do is leave a comment and you'll be entered with the comment picker. What's the blue wrench behind the names? You're now a moderator. You've been vested with incredible power that is absolutely meaningless anywhere else in the world. But around here, you can throw people out, you can put them in timeout, and other things. Now, the reason why I bought these is because it came with this. This intrigued me. It's got great big ears on it. Really, really big ears on that pan. But it's got a weird, really stubby little handle. That thing's no longer than the handle on most number 3s. Looks really weird because it's really small for the size of the pan. It's got a rib on the bottom. You can see there's some reinforcement around it, but there's not quite enough buildup to really hide any markings. Might be some on there. It's kind of hard to say yet, but that probably not really going to turn out to be anything marked. I don't recall seeing one quite like this before. If anybody recognizes, the big ears and that really stubby handle, show you the bottom side. If anybody recognizes that right away, let me know what you think it is. But that was intriguing enough to spend $20 for the whole lot of these. And like I say, I'm giving these 2 away. Yeah, that is a tiny handle. Yeah, it's odd. The handle does look a little bit like another one I'll show you later, but not all that much. Mickey Mouse, yeah. It's kind of it's an odd, like I said, it's an odd handle. It's really, really stubby for its size. It's, if you compare it to, this is an 8-inch skillet, a number 5. That's shorter even, if I got them lined up right. It's a little bit shorter than the one on that number 5 skillet. And that's, a number 8 size. So kind of hard to say what they are. But if you know anything about that, go ahead and share it in the comments. Interesting skillet, yeah. $15 would have been a steal for that 6 slice. You have one of those Wagner number 6s. Yeah, the number 6s are a nice skillet. A lot of people like that size. I got 2 of them actually, so I'm going to give this one away. Make sure I'm caught up here with the comments. Don't know what make it is, but I like it. Yeah, I thought it's interesting. That's the kind of, it's the kind of thing that interests me, is just the odds and ends, if I could figure out what they were, somebody else knows what it is. But even if you never figure it out, it's a cool looking pan. Now, let me see here. What have I got next? This one. This is an unmarked skillet that I got. It's got a G and a G on the handle. It's a number 8. It's kind of a snowman looking 8, but that's not a lodge by any stretch of the imagination. Got an outside heat ring. If anything, I would have to say, you can see there's some kind of butter marks on the back, but they're really, really buttered in good. If anything, I would guess this is probably patterned from a number 8 Wagner with a heat ring, but it's not a unmarked Wagner that I can tell anyway of that era. And the handle has been a little bit tough, but you see that handle's been kind of ground out and modified a bit on the pattern. So not sure what that is, but it's a nice pan. It's a really nice skillet. And like I said, I'm always kind of intrigued by these mysterious pans. I'm pretty sure I saw someone post one almost identical to this on the Facebook, or it might have been a different Facebook page. But instead of having a G, there was a little number 10 about that size. And it was a number 8 skillet, but it had number 10 on it. Like I said, I'm not sure who might have made that, but it's a nice pan, and I got it for a pretty reasonable price, so I'm not complaining. Okay, what have I got next here? Oh, these guys. Like I said, that handle was a little bit kind of reminiscent of this, but this is a lot longer, a lot skinnier. It's got a rib that goes all the way to the end. And if you saw that number 8, you might know what that is. That is a Griswold made Puritan. And the number is 1504 on the bottom. Very similar, the heat ring and the heat ring is very similar to the Iron Mountain Griswolds. And I think they use the same basic pattern, but for some reason they changed up the handle. It's a whole different handle. That's nothing like the Iron Mountain handles. But that's definitely a nice pan. Now the Puritans, like I said, this one was made by Griswold. They were also made by Favorite. And you can tell the difference pretty easily. It's got a different style handle. Looks like your basic Favorite handle. It's got that Favorite style heat ring, that kind of rounded over heat ring on the bottom. And they just basically used a Favorite pattern and popped on a Puritan nameplate, because Puritan, you can see a little bit on this one. You can kind of see there's an outline around the word Puritan. That's because they put their name and their logo on a separate plate that they would just set in the bottom of the pattern, because letters and numbers tended to wear out faster than the rest of the patterns, and it was easy to just replace that little plate rather than having to rework the whole pattern. But anyway, that's what a Favorite made Puritan looks like compared to a Griswold. It's pretty easy to tell the difference. Like I said, they're both number 8s. Let me see if I can flip these around without bopping the cat. And you can see the difference in the handles. What's that jumbo skillet up top on the wall? Trying to see here which one. Actually, the biggest one is down in the bottom. You can't quite see it on camera, but there's a number 14 BSR down at the bottom. Up on the top, if you're looking at that, that's actually 2 skillets hanging on a hook in front. There's a hook in the ceiling, and that's 2 number 9 Griswolds hanging in front of a couple other ones, which I forget which I got hanging right there right now, and it's too dark for me to read it. Let's see, who did it do? Get a drink here quick. And I got one last thing to show you. What would define a bird's burrow if it doesn't have the dot like the 5 and 7? It could be a bird's burrow, but I don't think so. That unknown one, because I just got a number 8 bird's burrow. That's a different. I'll have to look at it and compare just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's different than that. Anyway, the last thing I got is a number 9 nice marked Volrath. It's got a great big sand shift on the bottom there, but that ain't no big deal. But it's a nice number 9 Volrath. Got a little tiny bit of fine pitting, but like I say, you would hardly notice that. And I haven't seen any marked Volraths around here for a long, long time, and finally come across one. I do have a couple of enameled number 9 Volraths, but I don't have a plain iron one. And the enameled ones aren't in the greatest shape. I wouldn't really be able to use them. But that's the first number 9 Volrath, or any Volrath that was marked, that I've come across lately. So I had to have it, and it wasn't too bad of a price. I think I paid $45 for that. Your favorite Puritan seems a bit thicker than the Smileys. Real stout pan. Yeah, could be. This one here, let me hoist that a little bit. They're pretty close. I would say the favorite's a little bit lighter than the Griswold made one. Pretty close though, but it's not unusually heavy. At least this one isn't. Get some of this stuff kind of piled away. But anyway, yeah, that's it. Now this one with the G, it could be a bird's burrow. But if I recall, it had the one that I'm sure is a bird's burrow, had a little funkier 8 on it. And bird's burrows usually have a number on them, 1, 2, something like that, on the back instead of the letter. That one could be, maybe, but I don't think so. I'd have to, like I say, compare that to one that I'm sure is a bird's burrow. But yeah, that's just a weird little pan. Kind of eager to get that cleaned up. Like I said, it does have, if they're light markings on the back, there is enough buildup it could hide them, but I'm pretty sure that's going to turn out to be unmarked entirely once I get her soaked in the lye. Anyway, get these here. I'm going to upset the cat because I got to move a little bit here, get my legs rearranged. And I suppose now you'll attack since I disturbed you. Vicious little beast. Anyway, let me back up a little bit here. I've been prattling on for, where'd my thing go? Prattling on for 20 minutes. But, like I said, yeah, that is a nice bunch of skillets. Let me get organized here again. Love the Volrath. That style is perfect. Yeah, I like Volraths. They're good pans. A little bit heavy. Turn my keyboard off for the cat ran across it. Anyway, here, let's see. back up here. Larry Perkins, nice to see you. And Ronald Coward, if I be made her. Making red eye gravy for your meatloaf. Sounds good. I had some ring bologna from my local butcher. Do you ever see any patterns to show how they're made or the differences in them? Never found one. I'm not sure what you quite mean, Rusty. There's in the books they do show a few patterns on how they're made, and they are out there. But you'll more commonly find like tampers for packing the sand in the mold and things like that, rather than patterns. But you do see patterns once in a while. I saw an auction that had a bunch of foundry patterns. They weren't skillets or anything like that, but they had a bunch of foundry patterns. So you do see things like that every now and then. But patterns for skillets, not very often. Rare to see a marked bullwrath around here. Yeah, they're not hugely common. I'm not sure, but I think it was late 30s maybe when they stopped putting the logo on them and just started putting the little sideways number on the bottom. Claw on my shoulder, you know that, don't you? All right. Last time I did this, I had my arm like that for too long, and it took me half an hour to get it straightened up. It cramped up on me. That odd skillet could be an unmarked Freemason. Hey, don't start biting. Are there completely unmarked ball wraths out there without sideways size numbers? Probably. I've seen some that really look like, they had the ball wrath style handle, and the number on the handle looked right, because ball wraths usually had number on the handle and on the bottom. But there's also smooth bottom ball wraths out there. Towards the end of their, you just got it, don't you? You're out of there. Go chewing on me, cat. And towards the end of their production of cast iron, they made some without a heat ring. So there are smooth bottomed ball wraths out there. Not terribly rare, but they're not really common either. They're a good bit less common than the ones that have the number or have the heat ring. Probably, you'll see maybe one for every 10 regular ball wraths. Hey, Reaper, good to see you. Yummy Jackie, the cute bun, good to see you too. Have you ever come across a ball wrath double skillet? Not out in the wild. I have seen them on auction sites. They're not real common. I think the one I saw went for a pretty good price. It takes a skilled craftsman to make a pattern. Yeah, it was a pattern maker was a trade all to itself. And yeah, especially used to be a lot more cast iron things besides just skillets, pans, cookware, things like that. But a lot of pattern makers are also, pattern and mold makers, and a lot of them switched over from making patterns for sand cast iron to making molds for plastic and die cast. So, pattern maker, mold maker, it's a highly skilled precision trade, and that's why a lot of Wapak used a lot of other people's skillets for patterns, especially early on, because it was a hell of a lot cheaper. I mean, it cost, even way back in 1900, it was a high paying job, and it cost a fair bit of money to make your own patterns. So if you just take somebody else's skillet, smear something over the name to blot out the name, it was a lot cheaper than hiring 2 or 3 or 4 pattern makers. she's grown so much. Yeah, she'll probably be a year old or so, you know, January maybe. Not exactly sure how old she is, but cats be it nice. Well, up until the time she isn't. Wapak purchase patterns. Uh, Probably not. I mean, they're not going to, they're not going to sell a potential competitor their patterns, even worn out ones. But they did just use a lot of skillets. I mean, you could go down to the store and buy a dozen of somebody else's skillets and use them for patterns a lot cheaper. They might have gotten hold of some, by questionable means. There might have been ones that got thrown out or something like that, but I really doubt they would have actually sold them because it cost them good money to make them, and they tended to use their patterns until they were completely worn out. And yeah, they might have done some dumpster diving and got some discarded ones, or knew somebody that worked at the factory and got hold of some used ones that way. I really don't know much more about Birdsboro than what I said. A small scribed one or two in the 6 o'clock spot. Yeah, they. I mean, all they had really for markings was a paper label on them when they were new, and yeah, that's pretty much always gone. You're not likely. Once in a great while, you'll see a skillet that still has an original paper label on it, but I don't think I've seen a Birdsboro one anywhere. It still had the label. Really like that style of Volrat, the straight sides to the heat ring. Yeah, I kind of favor that style too. The old outside heat ring Eries and the Wagner. Wagner had that style. I do like that style of heat ring. Almost caught up to the comments. Where's the kitten? She was here a minute ago. Right now, sounds like she's tearing something apart in the living room. Your dad was a mold maker, made custom tools. Yeah, like I said, mold maker, pattern maker. They're a skilled trade. And you're definitely pay good money to a guy who's doing it. Ever try replating a plated skillet? No, I haven't. I actually did some plating at a job working at Cray Research copper plate and circuit boards many years ago, building parts for supercomputers. But I've never actually tried doing plating myself. You can do it, but I haven't. Whether it be cheaper to set up and try and do it at home, or find there's places that'll do nickel and chrome plating, especially for restoring cars, things like that. You can find plating companies, and I know of a couple not too far away that I might get a hold of one of these days and figure it out. But yeah, I haven't really figured out what the price would be and if it would be worth the setup and expense and hassle to do it at home. A lot of patterns are made from wood. People take discarded patterns and heat their homes, from what I heard. Yeah, you could. I mean, a lot were made from wood. They're made from a lot of things. You could use, there was stuff called composite back in the 20s, 30s. It was really popular for doing like making molded trim on furniture, things like that. It was a mixture of basically glue, wood fiber, sawdust, and you would press it together and heat it a little bit. And it was kind of like the plastic of its day. You see it on it was used for decoration, like where something would be carved. You could actually make a molding of that with composite They used that. They used different resins. You could use brass, aluminum, anything that was fairly easy to work with, but still durable enough that it would hold its shape. And you could use wood. There's all kinds of different materials. Sometimes two or three different materials on the same pattern. You would make the main part of a skillet out of say brass or aluminum, and make a handle out of wood, glue it onto the side, and that'd be just fine for a pattern because it doesn't matter. It's going to get cast into iron later on. But if you made a change on the pattern, you might put a wooden piece on there, or a piece of aluminum on something that's otherwise brass. But yeah, I use quite a bit of different materials for it. Seems like all pattern makers make a lot of their own tools. Yeah, they do. And good old fashioned machinists. Not quite so much nowadays with CNC machining and carbide tools. But if you were a machinist, you had to make your own cutting tools for lathe tools, milling machines, things like that. And pattern making, yeah, you're gonna have to make a lot of specialty tools for reaching around the corner, left hand tight inside corner. You have to make something you can actually cut and shave the inside of something with. Don't. You just got to be a pain. Come up and attack. Either settle down or I'll bounce you again. Just got to be a vicious little beast. Do I ever have family in Pennsylvania? No, I don't. Got some way down in Alabama, but nothing on the eastern part. You're welcome to my place. Come and see my collection. Need a day or two to look through it all. Yeah, it'd take a while to go through all of the stuff I got, but it's mostly just kind of in a pile over here, so might not take that long. Frank died from American Pickers. I've never actually seen that show. Sounded like it'd be interesting though. Let's see, it'd be interesting to silver plate or attempt to silver plate a skillet. I know we can get silver line copper now. Yeah, that might be kind of interesting. Don't. Just don't. Yeah, can't reach me, can you? Yeah, yeah. Down with you. It would be kind of cool to see if you could silver plate something. I know with if you try and plate gold over copper, which they do on a lot of circuit boards, gold and copper will tend to migrate through each other. So they have to plate nickel over the copper and then gold over the nickel. And I don't know, if silver and would stay on the surface of iron or not. There's a lot of things you need to know about plating. A lot of chrome plated stuff, especially restored, they'll polish it up and then they'll copper plate it because the copper will show any scratches, things like that. Then you can buff the copper out, get that really perfect, and then chrome plate over the copper. You see a lot of that where you restore a bumper on a classic car or something like that. A lot of the plating companies will, after they get done polishing it, they'll hit it with copper. It's like painting when you put up sheetrock, when you put that first coat of primer on the wall. I mean, the wall looks just perfect until you paint it, and then it just looks like hell. I mean, you can see every little flaw, every little defect. And it's the same thing with the copper plating. Then you can clean that up and then give it your finish. Anyway, where are you finding your cast iron? these kind of moldy looking ones. I got those off the Goodwill site. The other ones I got from a antique dealer fairly close by. I've been doing business with her on different things for quite a while, so I usually get pretty good price out of her on most of the stuff I get. And there's also, I think I'll show you guys next week. It's really great for finding local auction houses, auctioneers, and it's high bid auctions. It's basically a listing service for all different local auctioneers, auction houses, things like that. They'll use this high bid listing service to put their stuff up on and have a bidding system. And I think I'll go through that with you next week, show you some of that. And that's a really good deal because you can search nationwide for things, but of course you can narrow it down and you can find a lot of your local auctioneers, and you can bid online with that system. And it's pretty easy to use, works pretty good. Like I said, I'll show you that. And I've gotten some things from different auctioneers through that. Just found out you have a SMS number 7 fancy handle gate mark in ring. Here it's 1800s. Yeah, most of your gate mark skillets are going to be from before 1900 at least. And there's getting to be a pretty good demand for a lot of those. I mean, they're getting really popular. A lot of people like them. They're really light for the most part. And a lot of people really like them. They cook good. So the price on them has been going steadily up for the last few years. They used to be pretty cheap, just because they were thin, they were light. They were fairly common because most of your stove companies would make a set of pans to go with the stoves. It was either, an incentive to buy it or a little upsell thing. Hey, another buck, we'll throw in a kettle, a Dutch oven, and a skillet with a lid that'll fit all three, and that sort of thing. So they used to be really common, but they're not as many around as there used to be, and people are really getting into them. And don't worry about being new. There's very, very few people that actually know everything. I mean, I know quite a bit, but there's tons more I don't know. But asking questions on the chat is a great way to find out things because, if I don't know it, somebody out there knows it. And they tend to let you know if you ask a question. High bid crashes often. I've never tried the phone app. If that's what you're using, I just use the regular website on my desktop, and I've never had a problem with it crashing. But the phone app, I don't know. And most of them are fairly local, so you go, a lot of them don't even bother shipping anything. You have to go pick it up wherever it's at. Watch for the shipping though. Premium price for questionable packing. Got a number 8 shipped in a TV box. Well, it's not what you know, it's who you are. It's already able to find someone who does. Yeah, and there's plenty of people here who know the things I don't. Nothing like a gate mark or a fancy handle. Your dream pieces are a number 9 and a gate marked 1 pour spout. Yeah, I'd like to get a 1 spouter. I don't have any. You see them once in a while. You made it. You had to go to town and back. Well, hi Debbie. It's good to see you. But yeah, I would like to get hold of a 1 spout skillet. I've seen a few for sale here and there, but I usually get outbid because I want one, but I don't need one quite that bad. Scratch the top of my foot. But yeah, number 8, packed in a shipping box with peanuts. Yeah, that's probably going to settle to the bottom before too long and cause problems. Like I say, most of the ones around here, it's pickup only. But if you get something within 50 or 60 miles, it isn't too big of a deal just to run over and pick it up. Some things some people offer shipping for, or some of them, like there's one in a town to the north of me, and that's where they have their office and where they're mostly based. But they go around and do live in-person auctions too, and sometimes they'll list the stuff at they'll do a listing for something that's you pick it up at the site. Well, they had something I wanted in town that was pretty good distance away, and I had to work that day. And I got a hold of them and had them bring it back to their office and picked it up there and saved a good bit of running. Your only fancy handle is a gate mark number 12. Great user. Use it in your large volume cooking. One spout or right hand only. Kind of depends on which way you look at it, but I was trying to think if they were right or left-handed. There might be some that are the other way. I want to say that there's some if you're holding on to the handle and looking at the pan in front of you like this. I want to say I've seen them on either side. One spout on either side, but I could be wrong. Yeah, but number 7 gate mark is right-handed. Yeah, like I said, I think I've seen them on both sides, but I can't be quite positive. Do I use solid core or flux core for welding? If flux core works, can you get it? The high nickel wire that I use for welded cast, I've used both. You can get flux core. You'll probably have to order it off of Amazon or some welding supply companies like Mississippi Welder Supply, Harris Welding Supply. They generally have it. It's not Praxair anymore. Lind. They're another welding supply outfit. You can probably get it through them. I know Harris has some. I know Amazon has some for sure. I've gotten it off there before. And but yeah, I've used both. They both work. They both work pretty good. The solid wire with gas tends to be a bit smoother. The flux core is a little more violent because it's melting the flux right in the center of your puddle, and it's kind of splattering a little more. But it does work really good, so either one will work. iBid does have Canadian auctions too. Their prices and shipping have been decent. The exchange scares us lower 48. Yeah, like I said, I'll I think we'll go through that next week. Show you some of the things. At least that's around here. But they'll give you a search radius too. From your local area. You put in your zip code, 50, 150, 250, 500 nationwide. And you can kind of take it from there. But if you keep checking back, a lot of times you can find, because not all the auctioneers have stuff all the time. And you can find a lot of, smaller local auctioneers that you never heard of before. And kind of keep tabs on them. You'd be surprised at some of the things. I mean, other than, cast iron frying pans, you can find tons and tons of different stuff. Relatively local. If it's close enough to go pick it up, yeah, you're a lot better off picking it up rather than taking your chances having it shipped. Left-handed pour is harder to find. That's with the spout inside if you hold it in your left hand. Yeah, like I said, I thought I saw them on both sides, but one side was definitely more common. And yeah, it kind of depended on which, to the inside, depending on which hand you were holding it in. But being right-handed, I would tend to look at it like this, and one on the right side would be right, and that side would be left to me. But if you're holding it on your left, it'd be like you said, the pour spout would be for left-handed pouring towards the inside. Use that 7 for cornbread. It's hard to stir with the left hand when you add the bacon fat to the cornmeal. You have a number 7-sided fancy handle that may have been a spider, but the legs got cut off long ago. Yeah, you do see that, sometimes on kettles, especially if they're used like in a fireplace and you're dragging them across a stone hearth or something like that. They tended to wear down. Or a lot of times you get one that get busted off, so you cut all the rest down to match it, or just grind them off entirely. But yeah, you do see spiders and kettles that have the feet gone. You have to look around online. Shops just looked at you crazy for the wire. Yeah, most of the flux core wire you're gonna find is it's generally steel wire, but the high nickel, a lot of people don't carry the high nickel, even the solid wire. But yeah, I've gotten it on Amazon, and yeah, there's different welding supply outfits: Harris, Mississippi Welder, Welding Supply, Lind. You've got 2 pieces of Wapak iron from Hybrid. Yeah, I've seen a couple. Yeah, pretty sure I saw a couple of the same ones you posted before that were on Goodwill. One was for like a Wapak, a brake company or something like that. And then there was Wapak, a foundry, or Wapak, a foundry made by Wapak, a foundry for some brake company. Did I try my cone making? The waffle cones, I haven't been able to get those to work consistently. Sometimes they'll work out great. Sometimes they just won't, and I can't figure out just what the hell what I'm doing that they're not consistent. Got a Dutch oven and a griddle on the way. Huh. Yeah, I might have to kind of look into them. Wapak is a city here in Wisconsin. Vollrath, that was made in Wisconsin. There's a new one, Marquette Castings. They're making cast iron skillets, fairly nice ones from what I've seen of them, but I haven't seen a lot of them, and I haven't seen an actual one in action. But I guess they're doing all right. Anyway, we got about 10 minutes left. I'll get this ready for the drawing. Turn on the monitor over there, get that fired up. Let me see here. Go over here where I can't see what's going on. Where are you? Giveaway tool. There we go. Move that over to my other screen. There. That's all ready to go. So, anyway, with the drawings, the way we do them, StreamYard has a giveaway tool. If you leave a comment, it will automatically enter you, and it'll pick a random comment as the winner. So what you're getting is a number 6, nicely marked number 6 Wagner ware skillet. Needs a good cleaning up. I wouldn't use it like it is right now. Completely unrestored. It's entirely up to you to strip that down, clean it up, re-season it. You're also going to get this one here. That's an 8-inch, about a number 5 size, made in Taiwan skillet. It too is dirty and scungy, needs good cleaning up. But that is a nice little pan. It's really light. And like I say, I'd be more than willing to bet once you got that cleaned off, it'll be milled nice and smooth inside. And like I say, it's really nice. That's a nice little skillet. And, if you're looking for something you can use, don't overlook the Taiwan and the Korean made skillets. Look them over, make sure they're good pans. But you'd be surprised. You can find quite a number of them. You can find them cheap because nobody else is really interested in them, and they work great. One of my favorite pans is a little made in Taiwan skillet. Browns beautifully. Cooks just as good as any cast iron and better than quite a few. Marquette is only making ceramic coated cast iron skillets now. Huh. I know they were making just, regular cast iron for a while. But anyway, let's see here. When you going to start the stove up again? Well, I'm still cutting wood, but it won't be long. I mean, it is the 1st of October, and usually by the end of the month, it's getting to the point where it's a good idea to have a fire, at least in the morning and in the evening. Take a little bit of the chill off. You got a number 6 Wagner. You'll bow out. Okay, if your name comes up, we'll draw again for some. We'll draw somebody else, William. Might just as well give them to Cynthia. Fast hour again. J Tater W. Good to see you, Tater. I got several Taiwan for free, and they turned out nice. Yeah, I mean they're a lot of the Taiwan and Korea ones are pretty decent quality. You should always buy the pan first rather than worry too much about the name. Especially if you're looking for something to use every day and you don't want to mess up on a expensive vintage pan. You're not going to go far wrong. What wood is being bucked and split? It's mostly oak. I got a little bit left over. I buy a semi-load of logs. It's about 12 full cord, 8 foot long. Loggers cord, bush cord, full cord, whatever you want to call it. 8 foot logs. And I just got a new load, but that'll last me about 2.5 years or so. And I had some left over from last time. And I'm cutting that up now and starting to get into the new wood. It's mostly oak, a lot of white oak, some red. And you get a few other strays in there too. You get a bit of maple, and I've had a few logs of cherry in there, which is really nice. Melanie Matson, you're late getting here. Well, you might go ahead and win something. You like the Taiwan small but great pan? Yeah, like I say, don't necessarily turn your nose up on it. I don't usually deliberately buy them because I got plenty of pans, but if you need a pan, they're definitely a good one. But anyway, let me see if I can catch up on this and then go ahead. I have about 2 cord of ash. Yeah, there's been a lot of ash around here because we got the emerald ash borer running around, so there's a lot of ash getting cut, which is a shame. They're nice trees. But anyway, let's see here. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And I will share this screen here. We'll do our drawing. You love burning cherry? Yeah, it really does smell nice. And cherry is great for smoking. I mean, it's a really good smoking wood. Definitely one of my favorites. But I want to present, share screen, select giveaway tool. All right, I'll allow that. And there we are. Choose a stream, this one here. Don't need to match any text. Exclude winners, we'll do that. Start collecting comments. Now this should give a little bit here. Should be the number of people that have left comments, not the number of comments left, because there's a lot more than 27 comments. And we got 57 watching. That's usually about right for the number of people watching compared to the number of comments you get. Never burn walnut indoors. It'll burn your house down. It pops bad. Okay, I've never tried burning walnut. Cherry is a good woodworking wood. Wonderful bolts. Yeah, cherry is nice. I mean, it's really a beautiful wood. But, okay, we'll pull the trigger on this and see what happens. Zipping through. Yeah, Corey Clark. You are the big winner tonight, Corey. We'll let it blow a little bit more confetti around here for a minute. It's all done with the confetti. Corey won. So if you send your shipping address to themudbrooker@yahoo.com, I'll get these here sent out as soon as possible. There's an estate sale just to the north of Chicago. Is okay to post a link here? You can try, see if it comes up. YouTube's wonky about posting links sometimes. Let's see here. Is Corey still around? Yeah, there you are, Corey. Yes, you did win. So yeah, send me a message, with your address at themudbrooker, one word, at yahoo.com. Black locust is hot. Yeah, that burns hot. You don't see it very often anymore, but elm burned hotter than hell, especially when it was about half green. I think you have it already. I probably do, but I probably wouldn't be able to find it. So just send it again, and we'll stop the screen here. There we go. Yeah, you got yourself a nice little number 6 Wagner, and you got that nice little Taiwan. I'll get them packed up as soon as I can and shipped out sometime this week, I should think. Hopefully before the weekend. And the post office isn't too bad. They usually get it there within 3 or 4 days. So these are not, like I said, they're nice little skillets. You'll have to go ahead and clean them up, give them a nice lye bath or whatever you can use to clean them up, and away you go. So, and they're almost 58 minutes. I burned whatever wood you can get free. No pine though. Yeah, I've burned pretty much everything. A little bit of pine is okay for kindling, but yeah, you don't want to burn it full time. But you can make smoke out of most anything. Popple is good. It burns hot, but it burns fast. Makes a ton of ash. And you're better off the more dense the wood, the better, because it's really the density that matters. That's why dense woods like oak, maple, cherry make good firewood. And the lighter ones like popple, not so much. They burn up fast, but it's all a matter of BTUs. Burnt quite a bit of elm. I got a dead elm tree outside I got to knock down. I've had a few of them come up since the Dutch elm went through back in the 70s. And this one, grew to be a pretty good sized tree, and it up and perished. So I'll have to cut that down. Probably do that next summer. Had several years of cutting. Guy had groves of them. Yeah, they used to be really, elm. They used to be really common. They were a nice boulevard tree. Planting them in town. Nice shade trees, but they're pretty scarce now. I've heard that chestnuts are starting to make a comeback. They're starting to, because no plague is ever 100% fatal. There's some there's always some survivors, and eventually they can adapt. The ones that'll survive. So, and apparently, some of the chestnuts are starting to come back. Yeah, elm burden's good, but some hard to split. Yeah, it's stringy as hell. It's a chore trying to get her split. But anyhow, it's been an hour, so I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back next week. Congratulations, Corey, on winning them 2 skillets. Use them in good health, and I hope you enjoy them. I'll get them sent out. Send me your address again, because, like I said, I probably got it, but can't find it. I know I got Billy Lee's address about half a dozen times, and if I had to find it now, it would probably take me 2 hours. Anyhow, I'll see you guys next week, and hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you. Bye.